Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. Welcome back. You may kindly sit down, Mr. Witness. This is a reminder that you are still under oath for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sousa.
Afternoon.
Thanks. Now, you were taking us through the procedure for putting details or data into the IFMIS system after the revenue collectors have returned with their bank slips. So can you continue from where you left off?
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
After the receipting by the receiving cashier, I will see all the transactions in the system. There is a module that I will access, and I will see all the revenues that has been received by the cashier.
Okay.
And then in the system, you have 3 accounts. You have the revenue bank account, recurrent bank account, and capital bank account. So these banks account are the cash books. This account represents the cash book. And also you have another module in the account that shows the ledgers.
Another what account?
Module in the system.
Okay.
That shows the ledgers. So whatever is received by the cashier, any line that is received by the cashier, it will be automatically be in the system in the ledger accounts. Likewise, the expenditure. Any expenditure line that has been spent and it is been posted in the system, whether it's recurrent or capital, it will be captured directly into the ledgers.
And how is it captured? By the code?
What?
How is it captured in the system? Is it that the cashier will put it under a particular code?
Exactly.
Okay.
You have revenue line for revenues, and you have expenditure lines for expenditure lines. Each of the expenditure, there is a code for it. For example, if it is traveling expenses, there is a specific code for traveling expenses. If it is revenue line and it is let's say trade license, there is a specific revenue line for trade license. So when it gets into the system, they will all appear into different ledgers into the system.
So it is the cashier, in this Malafi Baji.
Yeah.
He's the only person. Is he the only person who puts data into the system for IFMIS?
Malafi is responsible for the revenue.
Okay.
Mohamed Laban Keru is responsible for the expenditure.
Okay.
Yes.
So all the revenue collectors that bring funds in will go to Malafi Baji.
Malafi, yeah.
And Mola Mikeru, who would he work with in terms of the expenditure?
He works with Usainu Toure, and sometimes I do join them. Most especially when we are trying to migrate from the manual system to the IFMIS system. By then, we work as a team, because within that period, there was a backlog of 3 months or so. So we have to work as a team, help each other to input these expenditures and the revenues.
Okay, so that would have been about 3 months after you started.
Yeah.
You would have did you migrate everything onto the system?
Exactly.
About 3 months after, okay. And what is Ndaba Krubali's role in all of this, the IFMIS system?
Ndaba is the cashier, and then in his responsibility also, he does other accounting jobs, like preparation of vouchers, paying withdrawals for payment of salaries. And also, he was also given additional responsibility to support one of the collectors at the market.
To support who?
One of the collectors at the market.
Is there a reason why your finance department has staff that have at least 2 different roles that they're taking on simultaneously?
Yes, of course. The unit is totally handicapped looking at the operations of Basay Area Council. This has even advanced me to sometimes, help them on some of the accounting transactions. because looking at, for example, Malafi is the receiving cashier, and then his destination is accounting assistant. He's responsible to manage all the rate and tax collectors in the field, meaning he have to be in control of the revenue collectors to find out what they are doing in the field, communicate to the alcalos to ensure that he is able to reconcile all collections done by the collectors, and equally he is also responsible to do the receipting, and also sometimes to support me during my transactions. Likewise, Mahmoud Lamin Keru also is responsible for preparing of vouchers in the IFMIS system, responsible for supervision and control of the market, the LUMO, and the license collectors. So there was a time, in fact, we come with a strategy to say they have to ensure that every week they go into the field twice to know what is happening.
Every week they hold what?
They go into the field, meaning to go and see what the collectors are doing on the ground, both the market, the license, and then rates and tax, so that they will have first-hand information. Because the job needs real supervision, because we deal with money, and then the collectors also on the ground, they need some support at certain level. So, but even those things, there are times that you couldn't make it, because along the way we have internet issues, electricity issues, and the like.
And whilst Manlafi Baji and Mola Menkeru are going around twice in the week to supervise the revenue collectors, what are you doing?
Yeah, sometimes I will stay at the office, and then do my functions as director of finance.
Give me examples of those functions that you're doing when they're
Council,
going.
I have, before he answers that question. Now, you were talking about the IFMIS system. Can you give me the reporting features of the IFMIS system?
Yes, you have the income and expenditure statement can be produced from the IFMIS system. You can have the general ledgers, the extended trial balance, these are the major, and then is vouchers. You can have self-vouchers.
No, Mr. Suso.
Yes.
The reporting systems I mean are, for example, the support for the filtering of the data that you put in, and the logical operation, etc. Those are the reporting features of the system that I want to know, so that I understand how you sync the information from the other system that you have.
Yes, thank you.
What you are telling me is operational models, but not the reporting system.
Okay, those are the features in the system. I'm saying, those are the features in the system. So the system, you can able to pull reports from the system.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the configuration? What do you have as your import and export in terms of the data that you put in?
Yes. As soon as the data is imported in the system, I can access.
How do you import the data into the system?
Yeah, like that's what I was saying earlier on. Malafi and Keru will do the imputation in the system. As soon as that is done, I will get the data I will see this data in the system, where I can able to access them. Each of the information, I have access to those informations. Then I can pull the reports, reconcile, and then report to management. Like, for example, if I want to pull the income and expenditure, I can get into the system, pull the report, and then submit to management.
No, actually, what I want to understand is that in the beginning of your evidence, before we went for lunch break, you said you synchronize the information you receive. That is, information from the data collectors when it is processed by the cashier, and together with the information you receive from the POS data. So now I want to understand, how do you use the system, the IFMIS system, to import and export the data? Because what I want to know is that when you get into the IFMIS system, do you access all of this data at one time, or do you have to You understand? What do you do?
I think I get you now. Trying to reconcile the 5C and the IFMIS.
Yeah.
It's like whatever is registered on the IFMIS system, like a particular revenue line, will be displayed into the system. I will see it in the system. The 5C also is a different system. It's a separate system.
No, you know what I want to understand, whether the IFMIS system is such that you could export the information that you have into, for example, an Excel.
Yes, you can.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Those are the features I want to know whether the system you are using is capable of doing that. If it is capable of doing that, I will appreciate when you explain these modules that you have, the features that you have in terms of imputing the data that you have, whether it's the processing, whether it is the importation of the data that you have, etc. Because what is important is that if you don't have the features of being able to export this in an Excel form, you will not be able to have the data. If I ask you now, give me the data from 2018 to from 2020. When did the IFMIS roll out?
2021.
2021.
Yes.
You will not be able to give it to me.
You can export all the information in the IFMIS system to Excel.
All right.
You can do it.
You can export it to
Of course.
Excel. That is what I wanted
Of
to
course.
know. Thank you. Council, you can proceed.
Thank you. So, Mr. Suso, I was asking what you do when Manlafi Baji and Mola Menkeru go to the field to supervise the revenue collectors, and you were saying that you did your functions at the office, and I was asking for examples of those.
Yeah, as Director of Finance, I need to check into all the accounting transactions of the council. Whatever is done by the junior officers, at the end of the day, I have to reconcile, prepare reports, interpret the financial situation of council, come with recommendations, or come with strategies how best those issues can be mitigated or can be enhanced.
So, Mola Menkeru and Malafi Baji, each of them would go to the field twice in the week. Do you go to the field at any point to supervise the collectors?
Yes, I sometimes do join them to see what is happening. I do sometimes go to the Lumo, because sometimes they will tell me that we have some challenges of securities to support us to collect, and I also want to know how they operate at their various areas so that I can have first-class information. And I also join them to share my experience with them as Director of Finance. And I also want to know actually what is happening on the ground. Because
So
I don't believe...
How often do you go?
No. I believe when I went to Bashe, I went to Sarangai, Lumo once or twice, Bashe Market once. It was my plan to go around.
When you say once or twice, you mean in the entire time that you were Director of Finance?
Yes, of course. But my plan, that was the time my plan was I want to meet all the alcalos of the region and even the CFOs to see how best we can strengthen our responsibilities and enhance the collection.
Did you see all the alcalos and the CFOs? Did you get to meet all the alcalos and the CFOs?
Yes, we have the list of all the alcalos.
Pardon?
We have the list of all the alcalos.
No, I didn't ask if you had the list. You said you wanted to go around and meet the alcalos and the CFOs.
Yes.
Did you?
No.
None of them?
Only Bashe alcalo.
Why was that?
And then the chief of Bashe.
Why was that?
I could not make it because of I'm overtaken by other events.
What events?
Office work, and office matters.
Wasn't that part of your office work?
Yeah, it was part of my office work, and it was part of my plan, but I was unable to do it.
So from February 2021 to when did you leave the council?
July, around 12th of July.
July 2023.
Yeah.
So from February 2021 to July 2023, you didn't get the opportunity to meet any Alcalo chief, SAFO, except Basse, Alcalo and Basse chief.
Exactly.
I see. Now, when Manlafi and Molamikiru have put data into the IFMIS system, so all you do basically is look at the system because somebody else is there to input data, right?
I look at the system and prepare reports.
So does the system not self-generate reports?
Yes, but you have to do your reconciliations.
So do you do the reconciliation before the reports are generated or after?
No, after getting into the system, you have to look at the system, and then from there you export the system and prepare your reports.
Okay.
Is this, sorry, who does the overriding of the transactions?
Overriding, there was a time it is done at the Accountant General. We don't have the rights. There was a time everything was at Accountant General Department, that's IFMIS.
But individual institutions
Yeah.
have a particular officer designated to do that.
Yes.
Is it not correct?
Yes. Along
Yes.
the way, I was given some rights
And what are your rights that are given to you?
to reverse transactions if they are wrong, but I have to have consent from the Accountant General Office. And then
And how is that instruction given to you? Is it by email? Or what is it? How does it?
It was by email. By email, because normally what happens is that during the period we work with them tirelessly. Most of the time I have to travel all the way from Basse to go there, to travel to Combo and work with them.
So if you are to alter a transaction, is the system that is being controlled by the Accountant General, would they not see the transactions you are doing?
Of course
to authorize you on the system on the spot to alert you that you are either to proceed or not to proceed?
Yes, they will see everything, and then there must be a reason for that reversal. And then, as far as I'm concerned, as Director of Finance, whatever I reverse, I know it is something justifiable.
So now you have told this commission that Mr. Kiru and the other cashier, what is his name? Malafi.
Malafi.
They can enter into the system and input the information in the system. So what is the security that will prevent them from either amending, altering, or erasing data from the system? Because if you are inputting, you have some basic elements that you can have access to. Because if you make mistake, obviously, the system can allow you to correct it. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, what is the check that would not allow them to delete information from the system?
Malef and Kero, they have no right to delete. The only right they have is to input.
So, but yes, you have told the commission that if they have the right to input, in the event they made a mistake, for instance, they are supposed to input 5,000 and they input 5 million, how would they correct that?
They report to me and I consult the Accountant General.
And then you are able to effect the change?
Then, yes. Because along the way
when you inform the Accountant General, do you provide to the Accountant General proof as to it was a wrong transaction or a wrong entry that you want to correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Thank you. So, did you say the reconciliation was conducted after the reports were generated or before?
No. Everything have to be prepared, reconciled, then you can generate a report so that you can have an accurate report.
So you reconcile it on the system before you generate a report?
Yeah.
So in the case of before that, how often do you do this reconciliation?
Sometimes every week, sometimes 2 months, 1 month, sometimes 2 weeks.
So either every week, bi-monthly, or once a month?
Yeah.
The revenue collectors said that they get a printout from the IT department to reconcile with their cash book.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And they do this every week, right?
Every Thursday, Friday.
Every Thursday. So they get a printout from IT.
Yes.
And if the printout from IT and the one in their cash book does not tally, the cashier will not sign off on their books. Is that right?
That's right.
Right. So, in such an instance, how is it that you're not able to reconcile what is on the IFMIS system with what is on the IT's printout?
Yeah, that was a time when Hakim was following this payment that we're supposed to meet to them.
That was a few years after you started. So I'm talking about generally. So we can leave that particular instance for now.
Okay.
But let's deal with generally.
Like, for example, if they go to the cashier and then...
No, you said there was a problem and you had to get the IT guy from Brikama to come and help you reconcile because the IT at Basse was not competent enough to do that. Now, you're saying that there's issues with reconciliation. That's why, because you could not reconcile the IFMIS system with the system that was with the 5C system, right? But we've just established that every week, your officer who inputs data into the IFMIS system checks with the revenue collectors and their cash books with the printout that comes from the IT department to reconcile before he can sign off and issue a receipt and put in the system. So if you already have that check before it gets to you, where do you have the problem reconciling what's on the IFMIS system with what's coming from the printout for 5C?
Within the period, we don't have any problem within from the IT to the collectors to the cashier. We have no problem with that.
No, Mr. Suso, you told this commission, just like she said, you said you had some challenges and you called the IT guy from Brikama to help you. That is what she wants to be cleared so that we can have a clear understanding of what you mean.
Yes, this thing happens when Hakim was trying to ask for his payment, not before that. Before that, not we
no,
don't have.
she is saying generally, not the issue of the Hakim. Hakim's issue will come later. This one she's talking about generally.
Yeah, generally what happened is that, you know, the IT is always difficult if I ask them to prepare or print a breakdown of transactions, more especially license, to reconcile. License was the major problem.
I believe that you said one of your guides is the Licensing Act, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
And everything is stipulated. And why should it be difficult when everything is stipulated in the Act? And why should it be difficult? Because if you don't use the POS, you have other options. That is the GTRs that you can use. So where is the difficulty coming from?
Difficulty is coming from...
Because you are very clear of what you are going to collect in the field. It's like you are not going to the field to do any estimation, because before you go there, you know exactly where you are going and what you expect to collect at the end of the day. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So
well, I think it will permit me to explain this, because what happened, my problem started with the IT. When Hakim was requesting for a payment, and then based on that payment, when I went through the system and I did my reconciliation, what he was asking for, has sharing ratio or sharing percentage, was on the high side. So meaning what they have in the system is higher than what I have in the IFMIS system. So I said to them, now we have to reconcile. Tell me which line.
Okay, just wait a minute.
Yes.
So let me understand it, because I'm not a technical person.
Yes.
So you are saying that when Hakim brought you the data he has,
yes,
the information he has, that
exactly.
is the data.
Exactly.
And what you have in the IFMIS system,
yes,
were two different things.
Exactly.
Yes, so which means you were collecting revenue outside of the machines, and that is why you had difference.
No.
So
No.
for all the while you were collecting, whatever you were collecting is being collected through the POS.
The GTR, also the land transfer and the land occupancy is used by is collected by GTR.
The what?
The land transfer
Yes.
and the land occupancy.
Yes.
We use the GTR to collect those lines.
What do you mean when you say land transfer and land occupancy?
This is it's a revenue line. For example, if you buy a compound.
Is it contained in the Act?
Yes, it's there.
Can you show me where it is contained?
It's part of the revenue lines. If you go to, if you have the tariff with you, I don't think.
Yes, I have the tariff with
Yes.
me. Can Assistant Registrar, can you please give him the tariff?
It's on the race act, where we have the revenue lines.
The rates Council,
Yes.
do you have the rates act? Please provide the rates act for. You said land transfers and what?
Yeah, it's part of the revenue lines.
Yes, rate
Yes.
transfer and what? You said
And land occupancy.
land occupancy.
Yes, they are part of our revenue lines on the rate and tax.
Land.
Yes. Let's go to. Yes, we have rates. Rates. So under these rates, that's where you have the or the rent and fees. Sorry.
On the what?
Rent and fees.
Rent?
On the rent and fees.
Fees.
Rent and fees.
Yes.
That's where you have land transfer.
Under which act?
Huh?
Under which act are you?
You know, specifically, what I understand is that on the rates act, it is only mentioned rates
Yes.
and fees.
Yes.
But on our revenue lines, you will find other revenues or where you will see land occupancy, land transfer.
So
These are part of.
is there any document to show us, which you can present to the Commission to show that
Yeah,
it's
yes.
one of your revenue lines?
Yes, yes. It's part of our revenue lines.
Yes, can you provide that to the Commission?
Yes, I'll provide you.
So please note that.
Okay, all right.
So under the Rates Act, it is just saying rates.
Rates,
So
yes.
for us to be clear, there is nothing like land transfer and land occupancy. It's just saying rates under the Act. So as a council, you decided to include or to add land transfer and land occupancy as a revenue line.
Yes, yes. These are part of our revenue lines.
Yes, but was that a decision as a result of council resolution, or was that a decision by you as the Director of Finance?
No, I found these lines. Bashir was collecting these lines.
These lines?
Yes.
Okay,
These
please.
were there for so many years.
For so many years?
Oh yes, oh yes.
All right, so please provide us with evidence. I hope
Yeah.
you noted,
Yeah,
you noted
yeah.
that.
I'll try to get a document that shows these lines.
All right, Council, can we proceed, please?
So I was asking you about your difficulty in reconciling between 5C system and the IFMIS system. And you were saying that you didn't have an issue. You didn't have an issue with the IT system, with 5C system, until Hakeem asked for payment?
Yes.
So you didn't engage Brikama Area Council until that time to get their IT guy to come and assist you?
Yeah. When Hakeem was making follow-ups to this payment,
yeah, okay, yeah.
and then we were struggling, the IT was struggling to give me a report to reconcile. That was the time we engaged Brikama Area Council CEO, and Hakim himself came with Badu to Basse. We went through the system, and then I showed them what I have. And then on that trip, they were convinced with what I have from my system. And I asked them that if you people can convince me from the system, like a particular line, what I have, if it is on the low side, and you are on the high side, give me a printout of that particular line, then I will also reconcile with all the cash books that are with the collectors, which later they could not able to do that, and they agreed with what I have.
So 5C system, how does it work? You have a dashboard in your office, right? That shows what's on the system.
Yes, I was using my laptop.
Whichever, your laptop, yeah. But you can access the system.
Yes, I was. Right? When I went there, I start accessing the report. But later on, the IT, it was difficult because IT will tell me that they are on offline, online, offline, online. I tell him, wow.
So you're going ahead to answer questions I'm not asking. I was. So I wanted to know you can access the system.
Yes,
right?
I can access it.
And the system is real time for the most part.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever a revenue collector collects will automatically come onto the system.
Yeah.
Now the revenue collector will come back at the end of the day or at the end of the week on Thursday, reconcile with, if it's licenses, it's Manlafi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then taxes, rates would be Kiru.
Yeah.
So every week they would reconcile these figures. And you have this access to the same figures that the IT has, right?
Yes.
So where did the issue come from? Where did the reconciliation issue? Because whatever the IT prints for you, the report that he generates for you, is the same report you're seeing on your system, correct?
Yes.
So where's the difference?
Yeah, I think I just started doing that not more than 2-3 months. Later on, I decided not to concentrate more on it simply because some of the collectors will be in the field and then I cannot access them. If I contact the IT, he will tell me they are on offline, online. So later on, I decided to rely on the printouts that they normally collect from the IT every week, reconcile, input their cash books, and then go to the cashier.
So I'm not sure if you get what I'm trying to ask you. The IT guy can only print out what is in the system, correct?
Yeah.
He cannot manufacture figures.
Well, I don't know that.
Do you think it's possible to manufacture figures on the system?
Well, I know there's no perfect system.
That's not what I asked you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible for the IT guy to manufacture figures on that 5C system?
Oh, well, I can't say anything about that, actually.
So if you log onto the system and the IT man logs onto the system, you will both see the same information.
Yeah.
And the information can only come onto the system if the revenue collectors use the machines.
Yeah.
Right. So if you needed to log onto the system, you could do it on your computer or you could go to the IT guy.
Yeah.
When did you get access to the system?
When I last to access the system?
No, when did you first get access to the system?
When I went to Basse, February, March.
So from 2021, you've had access to the system?
Yeah.
So you and the IT guy both have access to the system. Why do you have difficulties reconciling what the IT guy prints out? Did you try looking at the system yourself to reconcile with the IFMIS system?
Oh, during that time, I don't bother myself much, simply because I know it's not my area since it is IT matters, so we rely on the IT manager to give us reports.
You look at the IFMIS system, do you not?
Yeah, that one is my daily.
Is this not also a system that the IT guy can look at?
No, that one is the accounting package.
Is it not an IT system?
It's an IT system.
So, but you can read it, you can bother yourself about it.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Because I was discouraged to a certain degree simply because the way the IT manager was managing or trying to show me how the boys are operating in the field. When I was in Brikama, I was all the time on the system, trying to see what is happening on the ground. But I was not experiencing issues like offline, online. They have to come to the office first for their machines to be synced, for the data to be synced, then later you can see it on your dashboard. So that I did not experience that when I was in Brikama. But when I went to Basi, the IT unit were giving me those kind of issues.
Sorry, let me ask. Mr. Suso.
Yes.
I believe you are aware that the machine, the POS can work even if there is no internet. And that you were clearly told by Hakim, right? He
No.
told you that the system can work even when there is no internet.
Well, that is
No,
not,
I just want to find out whether you know
no, I don't
that.
know.
You don't know that fact.
I don't know. I only heard that from Hakim testimony that when they are offline, automatically they have to, the system will record the transaction. So I was surprised. Because for me, I was baffled.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, when I heard from Hakim saying that whether offline or online, they can, the report will sync.
Yes.
Understand? So that we at the office, myself and CEO, we can able to see the information. But my IT manager in Basi was not telling me such things like that. He was telling me.
But Mr. Suso, I believe that for us here, the evidence is recorded.
Yes.
Your IT manager also said here
Yes.
that he demonstrated using the POS that information, if they are in the field and if they don't have network, you understand, when they enter the transaction in the POS and when they come to an area where there is network and they have network, you understand, the information in the POS can sync and automatically you can see it at the council. You cannot see it until they have access to internet. And that is what also Hakim said. So that the information that the IT officer gave to this commission was corroborated by the person who provided the system and the service. Right? So you cannot see the information if they don't have internet. But as soon as they move back to the office or they come within the range of having network, the transaction will sync and you will see it. Is that not the case?
Well, I heard from
No. I just want us to be very fair to the system because we are looking at what your challenges are.
Exactly.
With a view to profiling workable solutions. So you tell us, is that not the situation?
No, that was not the situation.
What was the situation?
I heard from the IT officer and I also heard from Hakim.
So
what the IT officer was showing me in Basi is that they have to come to the office and then the information have to be synced. From there we can access the information. There was a time we provided...
No. Let us get this thing very clear, Mr. Suso.
Yes.
I think you have not heard me. What I said was that the IT officer told this commission that you can use the machine whether you have internet or not. But when you use the machine and you don't have internet, when you have internet service, the transaction will sync. That is, the machine will automatically record it and you will have access to see the information. And that is also what Hakim told this commission, when we ask him of how the POS operates?
Well,
because if for example, they can only have internet when they come to the office, then I believe the IT guy was telling you the truth. Because if he comes to the office, that's the time he has internet connection. If he doesn't come to the office, he doesn't have internet connection. So the transactions can only sync when he gets to the office and gets internet connection. But that is with a question mark, because we have seen the records of transactions, of data you have, internet data that you have bought for these people. The justification of you spending the money is part of that.
Okay.
So they cannot say, because there are some areas in the regions that they might not have access to the network. But as soon as they have access to the network, the transaction they have done on the machine will sync. Because it's just like you using your telephone. Is that not the situation?
Yeah, that's.
I just want us to be clear that the evidence we get and the evidence you are giving us, you understand, we will be clear as to what is the true situation out there. Yes.
I think that is one of the reasons why I'm here. Definitely, the IT gave me different versions. Because sometimes if I ask the IT, why is this collector coming to your office all the time? He always tells me they have to come here so that I can help them for their information or data to be synced. So, meaning if they are in the field, even whereas they have internet, they have to come to the office for him to help them for the system, for the information to be synced.
No, Mr. Suso, wait a minute. I don't agree, because they could have had that difficulty if they cannot operate the machine. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes. If they can operate the machine, they should not have that problem.
But now what I'm trying to say is what the IT normally tells me.
Tells you?
Yes.
No, now you tell us. It's not, we don't want to hear what the IT might tells you. It's what is your direct experience? And when he told you that, what step did you take to verify what he was telling you vis-a-vis the collectors that are operating the machine and also the service provider? Because you were their overall boss.
Yes. Actually, when that happened,
yes,
we asked him, what can we do? And he told us that you can provide them with SIM cards.
Yes.
And which we did.
Yes.
But we did not provide SIM card for all of them, because we normally go by his advice.
Yes.
Then that's how we operate.
So now let me ask you this. When he provided the SIM card, you understand, did you have difficulty in accessing the information?
No, to be very honest, I was not that much concentrating on monitoring the dashboard, to be very candid with you. Okay. Because I know every Thursday, Friday, I ensure that the conversion mission, all the collectors, getting their report from IT and going to the cashier. Then the cashier's revenue collection will automatically give me what they have collected. Okay. Honestly speaking, yes.
Okay, so now we are requesting that you provide to the Commission the weekly reports that you have generated over the period from the time the POS is rolled out. We are looking at a period of 18 to date, but we will be starting from the time the POS is rolled out. Please note that and provide it for the Commission. Council, you may proceed. Yes, Mr. Joyner Commissioner Joyner, sorry.
Mr. Suso.
Yeah. Thank you.
You said Manlafi is for revenue, Kiru expenditure, and Ndaba various.
Yeah.
Meaning Ndaba can raise a voucher, he can receive payments.
No, not receive.
No. I said various, you said yes. So I'm just asking. Ndaba can raise vouchers, yes. But according to you now, he cannot receive any payments.
No.
And he cannot pay any person, any contractor or any individual from the system.
No.
No.
Yes.
I just wanted that to be clear. Now, the other thing that I wanted to know is, do you have checks and balances as to what is inputted into the system?
Of course.
How do you do that?
If I get into the system and I go to revenues, revenue lines, revenue collected daily, receipt by the cashier, I will see weekly, monthly, anytime I want to print range, I can do it.
Okay. Now, do anybody sign against that you have seen? Do you do physical check to compare and contrast?
Yeah.
Who signs off on that?
I normally reconcile with the cashier.
You reconcile with the cashier with the receipts?
Yeah.
Now, how do you know what the cashier has brought you is what has been receipted?
Because normally I reconcile the cashier based on pay slips.
Now, do you sign off on that, your check? Like today is the 9th.
Yes, we do.
They come with and you sign.
Yeah, we do.
Lamin, whatever.
Yes, we do weekly.
And you sign and you put the date.
Yes, we do weekly.
And that is compared to what is on the system as at that date.
Yes, what is from the printouts of the collectors.
Yes.
Yes, meaning it's from the system.
Yes.
Yes.
And you take the physical receipts that has been generated by, is it who? Manlafi?
Yes. Normally, I reconcile Malafi. I reconcile with Malafi based on deposit taken to the bank, and then against this what is in the system.
Now, do you do it on a daily batch or per collector?
Per collector.
Is it per collector or per days?
We reconcile on per collector, and sometimes weekly or sometimes 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you batch them? Do you put them in batches?
Yeah. We batch
now,
them.
I want to see one batch that you have witnessed and signed as that you have reconciled that batch with the system.
Okay, all right. I will do that.
Thank you.
Yes, Councillor.
Yes, I was waiting for him to note that down. So, as you said, you reconcile what's on the 5C system with what's your cashier has put into the IFMIS system weekly or twice a month, right?
Yeah.
So, throughout the period that the IFMIS system was rolled out, you did not have any issues with the IT in respect of reconciling what's on the revenue collector systems and what's on IFMIS until Hakim?
Hakim, yeah.
So when did Hakim's issue arise?
Hakim issue, this was end of 2021.
End of 2021?
Yeah, 2022, because the issue was by then we were also struggling with the IFMIS to pull reports.
To what, sir?
To pull reports.
Okay.
So we asked him to give us time. We have migrated to a new system, so we have some modules that are not yet completed. So, but along the way, we are able to reconcile. We are able to pull our report and reconcile.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said that's when you had difficulty with your IT guy to reconcile what was in the system versus what was in the IFMIS system. So what exactly was this difficulty that you had?
What I have in the IFMIS system is less than what they have, what is in the 5C. The 5C is given us higher amount, whereas what I have in the system is the lower amount. So I said we have to reconcile.
So the only way what you have in IFMIS would be less than what you have in 5C is if the inputting individual did not put in the correct data, right?
That must be the case.
So which of your two lieutenants would that be, Kiru or Manlafi?
This is revenue.
So it would be Manlafi?
Manlafi, yeah.
Okay, but how is it that you missed that until that time? If every time, as Commissioner Joyner asked you, if every time, every week or 2 weeks, you have reconciled the two, 5C and IFMIS, and they balance, how is it that it is only at that point that you realize that one is less than the other one?
No, that was the time I requested this information from IT, and then he print a report for me, a larger one, big data. We sat over it, but we could not able to reconcile. And later what he told me is that this will be very difficult simply because since the beginning of the imputation there were duplications. Because my reason of asking that data is to reconcile revenue lines against the revenue lines that I have.
So I think what I'm trying to understand is the revenue lines that are on the system, you have access to those revenue lines.
Yes.
Why is it that if you're reconciling every week or every 2 weeks, why is it that it never occurred to you that your revenue lines don't match?
Because during that time, I never requested for a comprehensive report.
So you never requested for a complete printout and you never checked the system yourself?
I do, I don't regularly check the IFMIS system.
So you don't check the system, you don't request for a printout. You only reconcile what Malafi shows you. So you don't actually confirm yourself.
Yeah, because whatever.
No, do you confirm yourself?
No, I don't. I rely on that data.
So you rely purely on what Malafi gives you?
Exactly.
Without confirming yourself?
Yeah.
So when you're going to reconcile on the IFMIS system, that means that you don't actually check what is on 5C system.
When I was reconciling.
When you're I asked you previously, do you reconcile before you generate reports or do you reconcile after? You said you reconcile before you generate the reports. That's what you said. So if you reconcile before you generate the reports, how do you not know of these discrepancies that you're now talking about? You have now said that you don't actually check what Malafi inputs.
My reconciliation
is what I have just said. Is that right?
No, it's not right.
It's not right. Okay, so tell me which part of what I said is not right so that we can work on that one.
There is two systems here.
We already established that. 5C, IFMIS.
So whatever is receipted is revenue. So I do that. I do reconcile that one.
Okay.
You see?
So now you're saying you reconcile what Malafi does?
Yes.
Okay. So you reconcile. Malafi puts data into the IFMIS system.
Yes.
And the data is based on the revenue that he receives.
Yeah.
The revenue collector's checkbook, sorry, cash book.
Yeah.
The revenue collector's printout from IT for 5C.
Yeah.
So when he checks both of those, he decides that it's correct, he puts it into your system.
Yeah.
The same system that you have access to is the same one that the revenue collectors go to the IT for printout.
Right.
So if, as you say, you verify, when Commissioner Joyner asked you, you said that you verify every week or every 2 weeks that what Malafi is putting in is right, and that's why he asked you for a printout showing that you've signed off, right? So if you did that, then you would know that your revenue lines don't match. If you actually did what you said you do, which is check against Malafi's work, you would know that your revenue lines don't match.
Okay, if I can get you right, is that my mistake was I was not reconciling the total revenue of, from the IFMIS system against the 5C. I think
you
that's
said
where
you do that
from.
every week?
No.
Or every 2 weeks?
You know, but that reconciliation is not between, it's not that of 5C.
Is it not Malafi who will check what your revenue collectors print out from the 5C system and then check it against what they have provided, sign off that what they have provided matches what's on 5C system?
No, I don't do that.
He does not do that?
No.
Malafi does not do that?
Malafi do reconcile that. Malafi do reconcile report prints out from 5C. Right?
He does that every week when the revenue collectors come with their books.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
my reconciliation. Okay, carry on.
Before you get to your reconciliation, we're going step by step again because you seem to have gone. So Malafi checks that. He checks the printout from 5C. He checks the revenue collector's cash book.
Exactly.
He signs off, says they match.
Yes.
That's the only time he will sign off. He will not close their books if it doesn't match.
Exactly.
Right. So now he puts that data that he already has said matches into the IFMIS system.
Exactly.
That's what you can see.
Exactly.
Right. So if he puts it into the system, that means that it matched what's on IFMIS would match what's in the 5C's printout.
No.
How would it not match? How did he sign off?
Unless if you reconcile.
Mr. What do you understand by what he does when he checks what's on the 5C system as against what's on the cash book?
We believe that.
No, what does that, what is that? Is that not a reconciliation?
Yeah, it's a reconciliation.
It's a reconciliation. And that means that the only reason why he would put it into the system is if he has reconciled those two and he decides that they tally.
Yes.
So he has done that. That means for that week, they tally. Every week that he does it means it tallies. Right? So if you're reconciling now what is on that IFMIS system as against what is on 5C's printout, they should tally.
Exactly.
And the only reason why they would tally would be because what was input into the IFMIS system was correct.
Yes.
Because he already checked.
Yes.
So where does the incorrect part come in?
Yeah. The incorrect part comes in when we requested for a comprehensive report.
The comprehensive report is the same report that you have access to, no?
Yeah, but remember, remember.
The comprehensive report is the same report you have access to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And you check this report every week or every 2 weeks so that you can reconcile your IFMIS system and issue a report.
Which report specifically?
You said that you were supposed to be preparing reports. You said that the IFMIS system self-generates the reports, and you would only generate the report after you have reconciled IFMIS as against 5C.
No.
That's not what you said?
But I said it very clear. I was not regular in checking 5C transactions on the dashboard. Okay. I make that very clear.
Okay. You already said that. So what reports are you supposed to generate for management from the system?
That is the report from the system. That's the accounting package of IFMIS system.
Yes. So how often do you generate that?
Yeah, every month.
Every month.
Every month.
So when you're generating that system, you don't have to reconcile again with 5C?
No, I have never done that.
You don't have to. You don't do it, or you don't have to do it?
Yeah, it should be done.
Which one?
Yeah, it should be done. Both of them should be reconciled.
They should be reconciled before you generate the report.
Yeah.
But you said that you could not generate this report because you could not reconcile the 5C system with the IFMIS system.
Yeah, the reconciliation of these two took us time.
No, you said you could not, but you said you could not generate the IFMIS report because you couldn't reconcile with the other report. But you've just also said that you didn't do the reconciliation. So why could you not generate a report?
Well, I think I did not get you.
You just did not generate a report.
But the reconciliation report from the 5C and the IFMIS. Yes.
But you've said you didn't generate the IFMIS report because you couldn't reconcile. You've now said you're supposed to reconcile, but you didn't. That's fine. So my question now is, why did you not generate the IFMIS report anyway? Even since you're not doing the reconciliation, why did you choose to not generate the IFMIS report every month?
No, we have been generating IFMIS report.
You've been doing it every month?
Yes, especially the revenue line, the revenue. But for the expenditure, that one took us time because the ledger module was not available for a period. The ledger accounts.
The what?
The ledger accounts. Expenditure ledgers accounts were not available for a period of time.
I think this is a convenient point.
Yes, I think it's a convenient point to stop. We will continue tomorrow morning, inshallah.
All right.